What's up, ladies and gents, Ghost here, and today I've got some Attack Heli gameplay on air superiority. What I really wanted to discuss in this video is some of the buffs that have come in the latest patch. You may have noticed that not only has the new Naval Strike patch been applied, which comes with a number of new weapons for the game, and it's essentially the pre-patch for the Naval Strike expansion coming out, so they're sort of preparing for that. But they also released a whole lot of tweaks to the game. They fixed a lot of things, but they also balanced a lot of things in the games. Most things received buffs, a few things received some nerfs, and one of the things I wanted to talk about today is some of the buffs that they've given the Attack Heli. Now, I've always thought that the Attack Heli is completely underpowered in Battlefield 4. That's not going to come as a big surprise to you. Pretty much everyone in Battlefield 4 is of that opinion, and in Battlefield 3, the Attack Heli used to be great. There were some certain aspects of it that were a little bit overpowered. Some people would just get up as high as they could onto the ceiling of the map and just let their gunner rain down from above, and they've obviously addressed that issue by giving the gunner a limited amount of ammunition. However, there were still groups of heli pilots that had a great gunner team who were just really good at the Attack Heli. You know, it was like a skill in Battlefield 3. There were people who were just renowned for being, oh, this guy, he's a great gunner, or he's great in the Attack Heli. I just feel like you don't really see those kind of people in Battlefield 4 anymore. Even if you have a great team of guys in the Attack Heli, they usually just end up being taken out by something that's overpowered, like anti-radar missiles or the MAA, and it just becomes so annoying. It's become one of the things. There really isn't as much of a skill in Battlefield 4 as it was once in Battlefield 3. You know, back when the beta came out for Battlefield 4, I thought the Attack Helis were great. They felt quite agile and maneuverable. You could dart in and out and between the skyscrapers, and it was a lot of fun, and I didn't mind the ammo changes at all. In fact, I think they're great. However, in this patch, DICE have actually finally made a number of changes to the Attack Heli and to the MMA and to active radar missiles that are really going to favour Attack Heli pilots. And I was trying them out here in this round of air superiority, and you're going to notice that I stay alive here. I've got this guy, Modog the Monkey, who was an excellent gunner, by the way, so a shout out to him if he happens somehow to be listening to this video. But we were just doing work on the enemy team. We were keeping this point here, and of course this is air superiority. It's not what you're going to be doing in the Attack Heli most of the time like you are playing Conquest, but nevertheless, I could really feel some of the differences. Right there, you see that I crashed into the mountainside. Now, pre-patch, 90% chance was that I would have gone lopsided and I would have plummeted to the ground in that kind of a situation. They've now given a fix to the physical impact of missiles on helicopters, so that has now been reduced. Prior to this patch, sometimes when you got hit by a missile, in fact not sometimes, more like most of the time, your helicopter would just do a 180, you would end up on the side or upside down, and you would just go plummeting to the ground. And although that is true to real life, of course, if you were in a helicopter and you got hit by a missile, that would just be the end of you. There's pretty much no surviving a missile attack in a helicopter, but this is Battlefield 4, this is a video game, and it's in the interests of the game developers and the people, us, playing the game, to have it balanced, to make it more fun for us. So they've gotten rid of that altogether now, and you're going to see throughout this footage here in the background that I keep getting hit by missiles, and occasionally I end up face planting the mountainside a couple of times, but I don't die because of it. I lose some armor, I take a mobility hit, but it doesn't cause you to go one-sided and plummet to the ground anymore. So that's one great change that they've done for the Attack Heli. The second change is they have increased the damage of the gunner's main cannons, so now he's going to be able to do a lot more work on helicopters, on tanks, and on infantry. So if you're a gunner team now, so you've got a gunner and you're flying as a pilot as well, you should be able to do a lot more work in helping out your team from infantry on the ground. Thirdly, they have buffed the Zuni rockets for the pilot's position. Prior to this, they felt that the smart rockets and the Hydra rockets were a little bit more overpowered than the Zuni rockets. The Zuni rockets have a slower velocity speed. They're sort of like the equivalent of the HE shell in the tanks. So it has a slower velocity, but they're supposed to do more damage. I believe they increased the velocity a little bit and also made them do some damage. And as you can see here, I'm taking down helicopters in just a few rockets. They seem to be like crazy powerful here. I'm not sure if this is because I'm playing air superiority. Maybe the attack helis have lower health points in this game type than they do in Conquest. I'm not exactly sure, but it at least felt like I was taking down people here with my Zuni rockets combined with my great gunner fire here. We were just completely destroying the opposition. Now, a couple of other changes that they have released, which certainly helps out the helicopter, but aren't directly related to the attack heli, are some nerfs, actually, to the MAA and to active radar missiles. Finally, those bloody active radar missiles have gotten a nerf, and you guys know that I love flying jets, and seriously, the MAA and active radar missiles are the bane of my existence, and I'm pretty sure the bane of the existence of any scout or attack heli pilot as well. So they have now nerfed the active radar missiles. The cone at which they will lock onto enemy vehicles has been reduced somewhat, so you have to be much more accurate with them now in order for them to work as intended. On top of that, the range at which you can fire them and they will actually lock onto a vehicle has been reduced as well. So now you need to be closer and you need to be more accurate before you can actually use them. The nerfs for the MAA tank have been nerfs to velocity, so they have nerfed the velocity of the main cannon of the MAA from 1200 meters per second to 800 meters per second, and this is absolutely huge. It means that they're not going to be able to sit back close to their deployment and hit you in the jet or the heli from all the way across the map. And on certain maps, Lankang Dam for example, where it's not that huge, there isn't a lot of airspace, it can be absolute hell. If the AA tank is up, he can sit back in his deployment, he's almost untouchable, and if nobody's going to help you and you're, say, in the attack jet, he's always going to be able to take you out before you can get him, especially coupled with those active radar missiles. So that is a fantastic change. This actually puts it on par with the 30mm cannons from the attack jets. They have 800 meters per second velocity as well. So what this essentially means is that if you're going one-on-one and you're in the attack jet and the enemy is in the MAA, he's not going to have this huge advantage over you of his bullets being able to hit you faster than your bullets are going to be able to hit him. Before, you know, you would start firing, you would already be being hit by his main cannons, and there really wasn't a whole lot that you could do about it. The only way to take out the MAA in the attack jet was essentially just to wait until he wasn't looking, or go and attack him while he was under fire from some infantry or from a tank. So overall, I think these are some great changes, not just for attack heli pilots, but scout heli pilots and people flying in the jets, pretty much anyone who is up in the air. I think this is going to balance the game against the active radar missiles and the MAA a lot. I'm so glad that they've finally decided to buff the attack helis. They have felt for a long time now to be pretty much the weakest vehicle in the game, and yeah, sometimes they were a little bit annoying in Battlefield 3, but at least they could be fun to play then. In Battlefield 4, I just, I see the attack heli spawn, and I just think, well, what's the point even getting in it? It's just going to be a waste of time. But now, I'm actually really enjoying flying them. They actually feel like they're a valid option now. So some great changes here. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, and if DICE decide to do some more changes. I'm not sure if they plan to buff the agility of the attack helis. It was kind of high in the beta, and once the beta was finished, they completely nerfed it to hell, and the attack helis became incredibly sluggish compared to the scout helicopters. And, I get that. Of course, the scout helis are supposed to be the fast, nimble, agile counterpart to the attack helis. The attack helis have a lot of firepower under the hood there, so they can't be too agile, otherwise they will become a little bit too easy to maneuver out of lock-on radius. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Are any of you guys avid attack heli pilots? Obviously, I'm not the greatest pilot in an attack heli. I kind of prefer the jets. So if there's anybody watching the video who has a lot of experience in attack helis, it would be great to hear from you what your experience have been and what you think of the changes as well. So there you go, guys. Attack helis finally getting some of the buffs that we've all been looking for. Can't wait to try them out some more. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoy the content, then maybe think about subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.